Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Good morning for all our people them. Welcome for this broadcast or podcast for today. Today is a very big day. We got a lot of big things then for take and for talk and for our people them. So all man the place day, come fine, come well. Welcome for this discussion for today. We don't just conclude a very important diplomatic meeting. We don't conclude a very important diplomatic trip, and at time this we don't come back. We can give our people them the update, the diplomatic update. All right. So all man place there. When I come well, when I come fine. I hope say all man get a very good weekend. We hope say all man they fine. We hope say when they take good care of ourselves. We hope say una families. When make sure say una hold una self fine. So welcome. All man a place there. Be very happy for the talk where one can report and for one can give a diplomatic report. So place there, come fine. All right. So come fine. I hope say all man take good care of themselves, and I hope say all the things they want to do things that they work are fine. We'll start in exactly 1 minute. When I give you exactly 1 minute, we go get the ball rolling. All right. So place there. Welcome. All man a place day, welcome. You don't stay what talk for and people that they say, hey, who's a PS day? Yes, PS go small worker. We go represent Ambazonia. I don't come back now. Now time for we for can give una updates. All right. So fellow Ambazonians, good afternoon for all good morning for especially what people them for this side for North America. We salute all we salute all man. Una place day for all our people them. Wait today for ground zero. Na country Sunday. So happy country Sunday for all our people them. For all our brave commanders, our soldiers, our generals them across the 13 states of Ambazonia. We call una cafe for the wonderful work we una di do for the protection of the Ambazonian people them, for advance our liberation struggle, and for knock La Republic du Cameroon out of our territory. All right. So now welcome. Today also coincidentally today now also Independence Day for the United States. Today now the day with the American people them. They begin their own independence. So today now the Independence Day for the people of the United States of America. So for all Ambazonians, the day for the United States of America, una happy Independence Day for all una. For the people of the United States, una happy Independence Day for all una. So all right, congratulations for una independence and happy independence, happy July 4th. All right, all man the place day, una welcome. I be una brother LucasAsu, una the press secretary for the executive office for Ambazonia Governing Council. Today, I be very grateful and I be very happy for can give una diplomatic updates, for can tell una what did happen within our diplomacy, and for can tell una what did go on within the corridors of power for the whole world. A few days ago, the leadership of Ambazonia Governing Council will be led by Dr. Lucas Ayaba for the office of the President of Ambazonia Governing Council and the office of the Vice President of Ambazonia Governing Council, including the State Department of Ambazonia Governing Council. The leadership, it be select me, make a travel for go for Washington, D.C. Yes, for go for Washington, D.C. The United States government, it be don't call for a very important meeting. And they be called me, make I go represent the Ambazonian people them. They be called me, make I go represent our state. They be called me for meet up with the United States government officials. And so today one can give an update of that meeting. Most of the discussion for that meeting, they be very highly classified. So I'm not going to go into the details of classified. I'm not going to go into the details of anything will be classified. I go only give the outlook and what the meeting will be all about. All right, because a lot of things the way not only the leader fit talk and for outside and all fit talk and for outside. but the leader the office don't permit me make a give for people them an update for the things that will not be classified. So when I welcome, when I invite other people that make the join with for here, make people that get the education directly, we not like gossip. If I make people to be directly informed, if I make people to get first-hand, reliable, factual, current information as they're talking from the horse's mouth. All right. Some videos a day for my phone here, but as I did transfer those video into my system here, they be slow, so I no go fit play the video for now. Now only video them with from USA be the fly, and then when I reach, they're just the videos and but I go bring una some photo images. This meeting for the United States, it will be organized by the CDN. Now the CDN they be work very hard for secure this meeting, and so we want to thank the people them for the CDN for this great meeting where they be organizer. The Ambazonia liberation struggle, as we already tell our people them, the diplomacy for Ambazonia liberation struggle, it be don't be very messy. The diplomacy within Ambazonia struggle, it be don't be very disastrous. The diplomacy within Ambazonia struggle, it be don't be very nasty. Because of so many different factions and different interests, different people them with different things and what they talk say they want them. So it make the diplomatic environment be very chaotic. And so even within the United States, the government of United States, it be find them very difficult with all the various groups and where they go there. They want to go talking about one Cameroon, this one they go talking about the one at this one they go talking about na this one they go talk say na I get legitimacy, this one they go talk say no, the other one they not get legitimacy, na me I get legitimacy. When I not listen for any other person, when I listen for me. All this nonsense, it because a lot of uncertainty within the diplomatic corridors. It because a lot of doubts. It because a lot of confusion within the powers of corridor, even within the United States. And so the Ambazonian liberation, it began a very bad image. The Ambazonian diplomacy by some actors within Ambazonian struggle, they give the Ambazonian liberation struggle a very damaging image. The goal of leadership now for make an assessment of the damages where they don't be caused by people then where they want just carry Ambazonian liberation struggle go German for war. By people where they be things they say now them they don't the one can take over Ambazonian struggle and for go do what they want them. Even if it means say now for near things. So the goal of leadership now for make an evaluation of the damages we don't be done in our liberation struggle, and I foresee how we clean up the image of our liberation, and how for present a leadership will be respectable, a leadership will be trusted, a leadership will be credible, and a leadership will be very unifying. So the objective for the meeting with the United States government, the meeting with United States government officials, with the highest ranking government officials within the United States government, for people that matter for these kind of things. That meeting, it take place on Wednesday, the 28th of June. I believe Canada, I believe Toronto on Tuesday, the 27th of June, and I reach Washington, D.C. the same Tuesday for evening. For Wednesday for morning or Wednesday for early afternoon, we'll meet up for a briefing, for prepare for the meeting, for make sure say all we will go for that meeting with one voice. For make sure say all we will go for that meeting as a unified people them. Where they come now for ask for one thing only, and for present the demand of one thing only, and for make the request for one thing only. So the meeting for Washington, D.C., it will be now one of the most important meeting, one of the most important diplomatic meeting where we don't ever get them. One of the most important because of the quality of people that will be there for that meeting, because the quality of the various powerhouse within the United States government would be present. All right? So it being one of the most important meeting. The meeting for Washington with the U.S. government officials, it began two primary objectives. Number one, now for present a unified position and for present a unified leadership for Ambazonia. So now one and the same thing. For present a unified position from a unified Ambazonian leadership. And the first thing that. Number two, now for go make a specific demand through that unified voice to the United States government, to the United States, to the highest level of government of the officials them for the United States directly. So make a repeat them. Number one, we go there, number one. Now for make sure say we go there as one people, where they speak with one voice, and they ask for one thing. So we'll go there as one for show unity. Show say we'll be one thing. Now one thing with the demander. Number two, we'll go there now for make a specific request to the United States government directly. And that request, it be very classified. We'll leave and make the leader themselves in due time. They tell when I wait till that one be, because when I go to see the effect of this meeting in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months. Also, the meeting, as I don't explain them, it be also be now for clean the image of our liberation struggle. The image of our struggle be very, it don't be badly damaged. A lot of Ambazonians would be very desperate for try for proof say now then they own the liberation. They be take very damaging steps for harass United States government officials, for harass the staff of United States government officials, for harass the staff of members of Congress, for harass the staff of members of the Senate, for harass the staff of the State Department, for harass even the Congress people then. Will be very surprising. And when I know the people know how they talk about, where they take information, you not fit win the hearts and minds of the United States government by harassing its officials, by intimidating officials of the United States government, officials of the Senate, officials of the Congress, officials of the State Department. So a lot of Ambazonians, the one where they make too much loud noise, where they think say through intimidation, they go intimidate these people then for listening to Ambazonia. So it create a very bad impression on who will be, and they no go look and say na a specific group. They go take them all, put them for Ambazonian people their head. And so a lot of those things, they be cause a lot of problems within our liberation struggle. So wait till this meeting will take place for Washington, they do one of the things where he accomplish now for clean all that bad image where they don't paint them about Ambazonia. And a lot of these people where they do this thing, they do them deliberately, they do them as an act of sabotage, for give a bad name for our liberation struggle, as they don't give a bad name for all team. They don't give a bad name in terms of the character, in terms of content, in terms of substance, in terms of personality, in terms of trust. These people don't give a very bad name, and they give a very bad name for the Ambazonian people then diplomatically. Fortunately, we'll be able for clean that image with these people. They don't spoil our name. They don't spoil the name of Ambazonia. we will be able for present the type of leadership with the United States government officials. They will be very proud. If you tell when I say by the end of that meeting, the US government officials, they will be very proud of the quality of men and women, the quality of our presentation. They will be very proud and they will be very happy for see that quality of leadership, for see that kind of level of leadership organization. But the most important thing we need for tell you now, the government of the United States, it will be very happy for see what people then will come together, will come as one. Not be divided, not be many movement, will come as one. And so I be represent the governing council of Ambazonia, Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga. Make a show now some of the images, because as the talks here, a photo is worth 1,000 words. Me this and Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga, the chairman of APLM. Una fit see him for day una sesef. The APLM will be represented by Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga. The IGK will be represented by Comrade Brado Echu. Comrade Brado Echu, the IGK, will be select Brado for represent the IGK. And Mr. Akuro, Comrade Jumba Akuro, will be there for represent the consortium. And one other person be there. The Elvis Kumeta will be there for represent the SCNC. A lot of the other photos them, they be classified. All the photos where they take them inside the building, outside the building, with those people them, all those photos them, they be classified. All right, for put those officials their picture them for outside, it not be a good thing. It not fine for diplomacy. So they will put those pictures them for outside until a time where it don't reach where they will declassify those pictures then before they will put them for they will put those pictures for outside. So I want to tell the Ambazonian people say, make una get confidence for the strategy where the leader don't lay them out for unified our people them, and with the partnership with the CDN for bring all Ambazonians them, as when I don't see them, almost 95% of all Ambazonian movements, including NGO, you know, they don't partner up through the CDN platform for we for work as one people, for we for speak as one people. And so through the collaboration between the CDN and the leadership, we will be able for bring all our people them together. And it be and hello?
Sir Lucas.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, give me a moment, I'll call you back, please. Yeah, please. All right. So through all these partnerships, the former, through all this transparent collaboration with the leader for bring all Ambazonians together for work as one people, for follow one path, and for make sure say we communicate to the international community as one people. So through those efforts, I'd be very glad for see Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga and for meet up Mr. Akwanga. I'd be very delighted for meet up Comrade Brado. I'd be very delighted for meet Comrade Jumba Akuro. The first time this, we have meet up Chairman, APLM Chairman Dr. Akwanga. The first time this way, me and you don't meet up face to face. Also, the first time this way, me and Comrade Jumba Akuro, the leader of the consortium, will meet up face to face. And also, it'll be my first time for meet up Brado face to face. And it'll be very wonderful for see we as a people them when we meet up, we fit put our country first. We fit put the aspirations of our people them first. We fit put the goals, the objective, the what our people they fight and we fit put all those things first. And at the thing that be happen for Washington DC, we come together, we put the people demand, we put the aspirations of our people them, and we put their request. We put all those things first. As we will not be good there as a divided people, but we'll be good there as a unified people. And the expectation that, one of the most important expectation that will be getting for we, and I want to tell when I say we deliver on that expectation for project a unified leadership with a unified voice and a unified objective. All right? Our people they be very united in purpose. Our people they be very united in outcome. Our people they be very united in purpose in terms of what we want them and also what we want get out of this liberation struggle. Okay, that one no division not there for the division not there for our purpose. There is no division in terms of the outcome of our people that want them, and we'll be able to present a singular outcome of which our people they want them to the United States, and they see them and they be very happy. So in all, I want to tell when I say Dr. LucasAsu Ayaba, the man will lead the Ambazonia liberation. He don't make him a primary objective for unify the Ambazonian people them. Over the last 5-6 months, he don't get bilateral summits with the leadership of IGK so that they feel create a common position and agree on common outcome. He don't get bilateral meetings with the leadership of APLM through the CDN. They don't bring other movements together, and they be also get bilateral meetings with the people them for Team Act. All right, and so now all through those efforts, now all through those background work, now all through those consultation, now all through those mutual respect, now all those things it don't be able for help the various movements for plan and for work through the CDN structure for we for move forward as one people. So a very big step forward this in terms of the quality of leadership projection for our people them. And our people they get for be very proud in terms of how far we don't come, in terms of the work we'd already be done for move our people them forward. And if we don't see them over the last 6 months, the chaos within our liberation struggle, it don't be reduced. Over the last 6 months, we never get even one incident of amber to amber infighting. Over the last 6 months, we never get one incident of amber to amber infighting. We never get them. We never get an incident where one group of forces it go fight another one. So we don't do a lot of work for detoxify, all right, for cleanse our liberation struggle from the chaos. We don't do a lot of work. A lot of quality education we don't go on for clean our liberation struggle from internal chaos. And that's something where people they get for take pride in. That's something where people they get for be very happy with. Now, I don't hear. I'll make 2 comments during for this. I'm gonna take the time for make 2 comments. I don't hear Scott Johnson. He don't go for outside, and he go make a video, and they do the same thing where all man they do am now. If you want get attention, kneel down, and then just go down on your knees. So Scott Johnson don't go make a video for street for Germany there for place where they stay. It kneel down, Jake hand for up, talk say the back make all leaders they come together. Ambazonian and he talk say if Ambazonians they not come together, we go forget about independence. Okay. I want to remind Comrade Scott Johnson, I want to remind Scott why people don't come together. And not be the first time where people don't come together. All right? So what liberation need to fail. The failure where the way Sikor talk about, not be now the Ambazonia liberation, they fail. The failure they come, Sikor talking about the failure of the various IG groups. Because according to Sikor, the IG groups, now then they be the liberation. So the failure of the IG groups, it mean that say the Ambazonia liberation don't fail. No. Now the IG don't fail because the IG they try to find the identity. The IG they try to find who he be. All right. So there is no failure in our liberation struggle. There is just failure within the IGs, within the various IGs. Secondly, Sikor talks to me while we make our leaders they come together. Almost all groups they don't come together. Almost all groups they don't come together for November, for October, and for the end of October 2021, and for the early part of November 2022. 95% of all movements, defense groups, and civil society organizations, they meet up for Toronto, Canada here through the CDN structure, where people they come all together and they start to work together since October till now, where people they work together. So the only cry with Sikor the cry, as una see a few months ago, about 2 months ago, Sikor they go for Germany for try for go make the former SDF parliamentarian Joseph Weber. They try for go make Weber as for create as a new leader. And when I see say, even when Weber talk for England, and then he go for Germany, he talk for day, and then he still go for Germany for Stuttgart recently, he still go talk for day. When I see say, for all what he talk, and what is Sikor the talk. Now say, make Sikor advise Mr. Weber. And Mr. Weber be a person where he care anyone, he get the interest of the Ambazonian people them at heart, not be the interest for be a certain leader who can lead people them. If he get the interest at heart, make it join all the other leaders where they don't come together. May go join them. All right? Now the place who did that, the place who did that for leaders and for come together. Not be for some person for can't come out against him, I go create this one. Oh, all what when I don't do, I'm not fine. Now what me I want can create and I go fine. We don't pass that stage. Now we don't have for the stage where no matter the movement where we get them, come make all the movements they work together. Now the stage how we did it. You know, okay? You know, go figure dissolve. You know, if it say, oh, IG Siseko dissolve. Oh, IG Sako dissolve. Oh, IG Marianata dissolve. Nothing will dissolve. People don't create their platforms. The only thing we fit ask for, wish for, demand, and work towards, now say make all liberation movements, they work together, they come together, and for find a common position, and when I see the progress, when I see the massive progress, who will make up? Even over the weekend, the leadership of Ambazonia Governing Council, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, will be present for the act. People them, they are out in where they make what they call a fireside chat. It be there as the leader for give guidance, for work with others, for support others, for say all we come up for day as one people. Now leadership that. Now the expectation that we Ambazonian they be supposed to get them and for advice Mr. Weber. Go join others on a work together for the common good of Ambazonia. All right. Number 2, I want to make a comment on if an audio we don't circulate for social media regarding my person and regarding certain statements, certain educational statements where we don't make them. And I want to give an advice. My comment now actually an advice to Pache. I don't know Pache for a very long time. Pache don't be a great big brother. We don't talk many times. We don't get great discussions. We don't laugh together. You know, we don't even work together on many projects. So in a person way, I want to appreciate it and I want to applaud it. But I want to give this comment and an advice to Pache. Una sabi say for the ending part for 2019, for the early part of 2019 and the whole part of 2019, including the early part of 2020, this boy, whether they call it Gary Boy, it began launch Francophones Must Go. The Gary Boy began launch Francophones Must Go. Now so they knock him for chess. They talk very loud. Say all Francophones they must go. Say for Ambazonia for gain independence, all Francophones they must go. When I remember the Gary Boy for 2019. Every day, they can't knock him for chess, knock him. Say all Francophones they must go. After I do him for about 1 or 2 months, he see and say na a very bad policy. But then nobody do it because it be really mean. Now because a lot of people then, Gary Boy at that time, he not be one work within the framework of leadership and structure organizations. Gary Boy be one beef on himself for the purpose for raise money for put am for a pocket. For the purpose for raise money from the public privately as an individual without any transparency, without any accountability. And at the thing that Gary Boy be doing. All these campaigns say where Gary Boy be doing say frog must go. Now say many people they go give money privately because now you go talk say now you go run the program say frog they must go. And it be eventually take a lot of money from Ambazonians directly from the public directly into his pocket. Till today, no Ambazonian, you don't know how much money it be enter a pocket and how that money it be used, be squandered. So I think say we don't get a lot of experience. When people they don't see say when corruption don't enter people their minds, like in the case of Gary Boy. When corruption don't enter people their minds, they define avenues for start practice corruption and embezzlement. In the case of Gary Boy, instead Gary Boy use the Ambazonia liberation, frog must go, frog must go, frog must go. Raise money and what happen on the ground? Nothing. But when I end up for promoting corruption through individuals. As an individual, if you want to be effective, the best way if you serve the Ambazonian people, they're not through an institution. But if you don't see any person where you want practice corruption and embezzlement, that person where they always go push an agenda on by themselves, manage them by themselves, so that then they become the receiver of funds, direct receiver of funds, without any trace, without any accountability, without any transparency. We don't see him in the case of Gary Boy. So it not be new. Say now, there is this new talk. Say frogs they must go. So I want to make Ambazonia to be very careful. We want to be very careful. When people they come out, and at the end, who say Eric Tato end? Eric Tato end up in the hands of La République du Cameroon. Eric Tato end up in the hands of La République du Cameroon. So a lot of people, when they do these things, make una learn from Gary Boy. They make all this noise, collect corrupt money, and then abandon the liberation struggle. Okay? That one of my business. It's none of my business. But when I need for learn, if you not feel learn from the past, you go repeat the same mistakes If you not see the corruption will happen in the past, for this same program, say Frog must go. They use and collect public money, promote themselves, and then let the public buy them out. And then they abandon una. And nothing happened on the ground for that program. So una fit start see the same trend. All right? Una fit start see the same trend. Una be very careful. Make una be very careful. And also because of the desperation of independence, people need to take the time for reason or for take the time for think or take the time for analyze with people that they talk. Now be very careful. Everybody we don't go down this path, it don't end up in the hands of La République du Cameroon. Every person we don't go down this path, from Nso Foncha, he end up in the hands of La République du Cameroon. Yannick Sikot, he end up in the hands of La République du Cameroon. Gary Boy, he end up in the hands of La République du Cameroon. Dr. Nick Santos, he end up for the hands of La République du Cameroon. The list goes on and 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 on. Now when we go learn, so we be very careful. Just because people if you talk very loud, you know me say what they talk make a lot of sense. Just because they talk very loud. Okay? If you want to launch a campaign, launch your campaign, there's no problem. But for sabotage other people then, for try to make yourself look good, you know, sit well with you as a person. Okay? If you want to function and serve the Ambazonian people then, all the people there that they do self-promoting activism, they don't end up in the hands of La République du Cameroon. They be driven by corruption, they be driven by money, they be driven by taking money from the public without any accountability. All right? Una remember, Gary Boy can't tell una. Say get army on the ground. He get a force. He tell una. He can raise a lot of money from una. Say he get a force on the ground. Una remember? They chop all the money. Una not see one gun. Una not see one soldier till this day. So make una be very careful when individuals they come up, can scream, yell, shout for purposes of corruption and embezzlement. Una be very careful. I hope say the mistakes of the past, una know would make the mistakes of the past, but if una go to follow na individuals, okay? An individual without a structure, without a political setup, a political structure, a political leadership, it takes you nowhere. Not just empty noise. It takes you nowhere. The world need to deal with individuals. The world need to deal with political movements. With well-structured, legitimate political movements. I just come up from Washington, D.C. I not go there as Asu Lucas. I go there for represent the state. I go there for represent Ambazonia. I go there as a representative of the Ambazonia Governing Council. They not forever fit for welcome me or for let me be inside that meeting if I be go there as a person who they call it Asu Lucas. So we want to be very, very careful. We want to be very careful for begin to encourage bad behaviors within our liberation struggle. I make an educational piece for you. We can give general principles of persuasion, and I use the example of how we persuade America. I use the example of how we persuade England. I use the example of how we persuade Germany, and how we even persuade France, and how we persuade Canada. I use those examples for give general principles of persuasion. But based on distortion, they go take a small part of that video, they put them outside, and now they circulate them outside, say the Ambazonia Governing Council want go sell Ambazonia. to France.